Hey everybody, thanks for coming to Magic Kingdom today. We are trying to find out if you can do everything in Magic Kingdom in just one day. There are almost 30 attractions in this park. There's lots of complications. There's Lightning Lane Multipass. There's ride closures and constructions. Can you do it all in one day? I don't know. We're gonna find out. And we're gonna try to do it all with time to see the parades and the fireworks. Don't know if that's possible, but we're gonna give it a shot. There is actually one ride that you can get on before the park even opens, and that's the Main Street vehicles. They typically start running around the same time guests are let into the gates. So I am waiting on one right now, but the park's not even open yet. We're gonna knock out our first ride. And this is a great one to knock out early because it does run kind of inconsistently. Anytime there's a parade, when Main Street gets super crowded with the shows, they're not gonna run. So as the day starts to go, they stop running for a bit. Usually the last time they run is around 4 p.m., but it's intermittent between then. So if you want to ride Main Street vehicles and you see them running, go ahead and wait a second to hop on. Oh, I'm excited. This is one of my favorite things. It's so like classic Main Street. Dropped the park, which means I'm here before it opens. It opens in 10 minutes. So you can see lots of folks already in the park. You can usually get into the park about an hour prior to park open. And if you have early entry, you can start riding rides 30 minutes prior to park open if you're staying at a hotel. That's gonna be a great time to get on rides with super short waits just because they haven't started to fill up for the day, whether you have early entry or not. Now, our first goal today is gonna be doing every single ride. That's our #1 baseline part of the challenge. If we're really kicking it, we might try to hit all those non-ride attraction shows like Country Rare Musical Jamboree, Enchanted Tiki Room, that kind of thing. And then the goal, the ultimate goal, is to also manage to see the parades and fireworks. We will see if that happens. We have 13 hours today to play with, but it also is probably going to be kind of busy. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is currently in action in Magic Kingdom, and on days that that party is not happening, Magic Kingdom tends to get pretty busy because it closes early when the party's happening. So everybody wants to come on days that the park is open all day. We will be skipping some lines, and I'll be sharing tons of tips along the way so that you can get through all your priorities. Maybe it's not everything, but maybe it's a lot of it, and we're gonna make sure that you can too on your trip. All right, I am headed into Liberty Square, which is not actually our destination, but this is the right spot to rope drop if you want to start your day with Peter Pan's flight. So rope drop strategy has gotten a lot of changes over the years. Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are available for early entry, so those already are going to have more lines in the morning than the rest of the park, which is not open, particularly Tron Light Cycle Run and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. If you do have early entry, it's a good idea to head to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Tron actually doesn't open until the park opens at 9, but early entry guests do get to line up for it. Now, it used to be my recommendation to head to Adventureland and Frontierland, but right now, with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad under construction, the only two big rides in that general direction are Jungle Cruise and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Since I'm using the Skip the Line service, I actually already have a Jungle Cruise Lightning Lane, and I'm gonna be aiming to get a Tiana's Lightning Lane as well. So instead, I'm headed into Fantasyland, which has been open, but we're not going to start with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We're gonna try to hit that one in a lull. We're actually gonna start here with Peter Pan's flight, which, as you can see, has a bit of a line already. So right now we're seeing a posted 40. We'll see if that's accurate, but even if it's 40, that's pretty low for this. We got Lucky Yellow. Say hi to the mermaids. Hi Emma, hi Fry, hi Quincy. All right, I only waited 22 minutes, which is awesome for Peter Pan's flight. That's really incredible. And it means we don't have to worry about getting a lightning lane for it later, which is a harder one to get, so we don't have to play that game. The other high tier in Fantasyland that's gonna have really long waits all day is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And we have a lightning lane single pass for that. If you don't pay for lightning lane, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, the best way to do it is to try to hit it in the lull if you don't have early entry. Obviously, if you can rope drop it with early entry, do that. If you don't have early entry, there will be this big boom around rope drop. About an hour after park open, that boom of people who successfully rope dropped it will start to die down, and people will think, oh, it's super busy. So there will be a little bit of a lull. You're still gonna wait a while, but if you hit that lull, you'll probably have one of the shorter waits for it all day. The other way to do it is to ride it very last thing before the park closes. My next stop is gonna be Haunted Mansion. This one actually does tend to get really long waits in the middle of the day. It tends to be slower early and then taper off in the evening, but it kind of stays long, honestly. Not as long as like the ones you hear about, but I'm hoping for a walk-on right now. It is a posted 13-minute wait. When you see that with Haunted Mansion, that means it is a 15-minute wait or lower. Okay, yes, 13 in this case meant 1. I walked directly into the stretching room. It took 1 minute. This cloud, I don't like it. We are supposed to get some rain and storms today on and off. That is always tricky on a Magic Kingdom day because when it lightnings, rides go down. Any outdoor attractions do go down. So that's just gonna be something we're gonna be contending with today most likely, but we're gonna make the most of it. And there's actually a big benefit that can happen to rides going down if you have Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, which we will talk about. We are now gonna head over to the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. This one, I think, top of the mind. You're like, why? That doesn't seem like that popular of a ride. It is, it's so popular. It stays popular constantly. It really is the only one in Fantasyland that is like a classic Disney dark ride besides Peter Pan. Kiddos love it. And it's not one that people typically think of during rope drop. For me, it's one I like to ride during fireworks a lot of the time, but we're trying to see the fireworks tonight. It's now posting a 25-minute wait. I'm hoping it'll be a bit shorter. So as I mentioned, this is a busier day of the week in a slower season. So it's gonna come out to sort of a middle of the road day, most likely. We have attempted Magic Kingdom ride challenges on the busiest week of the year, on Christmas week before, or Thanksgiving week, regardless, one of those 2 busiest weeks of the year. And we got the exact same results as doing it on a not as busy day. So it's actually all about strategy, so do not fear the crowds.
Was not only gifted on the
All right, it was exactly 25 minutes for the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which honestly, pretty great for that ride. You can get shorter if you go during the fireworks or it goes down and comes back up and you get lucky, but 25 is kind of what I expect to wait for that. Even if you go after fireworks, it's just people love that one. I love that one. Now we're gonna do It's a Small World, which should still have a pretty short wait because it is still early. We are in that period of the day where the high demand rides start to get longer waits, but the mid demand rides stay lower. So this is when you wanna hit those mid demand. Looking like, what we got? Yeah, posted 5 minutes. That'll do, pig. Minutes for It's a Small World, clean. Exactly what was posted. We're gonna head, I think, to Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. That's another one that midday, really long waits, but at the early and end of the day, not too long. It's 10:46 right now, so we've been at it for about an hour and 46 minutes. 5 rides so far in an hour and 46 minutes, including Peter Pan's Flight, a massive heavy hitter. So I'm pretty happy with our performance so far. But we're gonna hit Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid, and then we're gonna start the Lightning Lane portion of the day. So Lightning Lane is, of course, Disney's Skip the Line offering. Lets you skip the standby line. There's a couple ways to access it: Lightning Lane Premier Pass, Lightning Lane Single Pass, and Lightning Lane Multi Pass. Premier Pass is super expensive, but lets you access any one that you want at any time, 1 time each. We're not gonna be using that today, so it's just not realistic for most people's vacations. Instead, we are going to be using a combination of Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Lightning Lane Single Pass. Multi-Pass is a single purchase that lets you access a bunch of different Lightning Lanes all across all 4 parks. You purchase it for your first park of the day, and the cost is both date-based and park-based. You get to have up to 3 Lightning Lanes at a time, and your first 3 you get to book in advance before you even confirm your purchase, so you'll know that you'll get those. Now, when you book in advance, there is a tier system. You can book one tier 1 attraction with the most popular rides, and the other 2 have to come from the tier 2 attractions. In advance, I booked Jungle Cruise because though I think Tiana's Bayou Adventure is probably the highest demand, I have had a lot of success in the past with getting Tiana's in the mid-morning. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So I grabbed Jungle Cruise, which is typically a very difficult one to get once the day gets started. And then for my tier 2s, they're kind of, one of them is Winnie the Pooh, which I'm obviously gonna get rid of because I've done Winnie the Pooh. And the other is Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Now that is not one that you need a lightning lane for, but we're gonna be using it as our passkey or burner attraction. When you scan into that first lightning lane, that tier system goes out the window. And now you could have 3 tier 1s booked if you want. So we need to get scanned into something. So I booked one of the earlier lightning lanes I could with Dumbo the Flying Elephant, which is right next to here and where we are gonna be headed next. I just looked and there was nothing on the wait time sign because the posted wait for this ride right now is 0 minutes. So with Lightning Lane, as soon as your Lightning Lane is scanned, that considers it used and you can go ahead and book another. It also works if they expire, but a question I see a lot is if you can just let your burner attraction expire and if that will clear up the tiers. It will not. You have to physically scan into a Lightning Lane for the tier system to go away, which is what we are gonna do right now. Dumbo the Flying Elephant, listed 15, which is very good for Dumbo actually. This one is kind of often thought of as oh, I can get that with a short wait, and you might have more trouble with that than you think, especially if you plan to do it in the middle of the day. And bang, that means the tier system is gone. Now, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, currently down, temporarily closed, multi-pass experience not offered. So we're gonna keep an eye on this one and attempt to get it. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up my preferences for the day, which you can do from the My Day page. And I'm going to hit a little check on Tiana's Bayou Adventure so that she shows up at the very top of my tip board and my modify screen when I'm looking for better times. This will help save us precious seconds that could mean getting a Tiana's Bayou Adventure Lightning Lane or not. And it also helps us be able to check really quickly if that ride is back up. It was super fun. This is a perfect example of when a ride is not a great use of Lightning Lane. The posted wait for this was 15. With Lightning Lane, I waited 15. Now granted, with the posted wait, I might have waited a little bit longer, but this ride is just not as predictable because the reason the line gets long is because it's popular, because it's an iconic one. It also does not have a great capacity. A ton of people can't ride it. And it's a slow loader, a slow unload. So you can just get stuck. I got a little stuck. I'm gonna walk just back a little bit into Fantasyland and do Enchanted Tales with Belle. Now this is in my stretch goals of doing all the shows and such. But Enchanted Tales with Belle is a very popular show that is longer. It's about a 20-minute show and it's got Belle in it and she tells you the story. Actually, you help her tell the story of Beauty and the Beast. It is a very cool show and one that I actually recommend doing if you have kiddos, of course, who are fans of Belle. But if you're an adult who's a fan of Disney magic and the cool effects that are on Disney rides, like I am, this show is also really cool. There's an awesome animatronic in here of Lumiere, and there's a really cool magic mirror effect. It does tend to get longer lines in the afternoon once it gets hotter, and if you end up in a long line for this, it easily goes up to 40 minutes because it's just, if you're waiting 2 shows, that's 40 minutes.
Well, where are you, mademoiselle?
Now!
Surprise! Definitely a show that's geared more towards the kids, but I love watching that show. It is so sweet. And I think they do a good job making it fun for the whole family and for grown-ups to go to see it too. But definitely a must do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Barnstormer. And the reason I wanna do Barnstormer at this time is because it is sort of tucked back here in the back of the park, far away from everything else. Next to Dumbo, we already did Dumbo, so I won't have to come back here if I do Barnstormer now. Additionally, I'm gonna take the train out of here and take it around to Main Street. At the time of filming with the current construction in Frontierland, the train only goes between Storybook Circus, Fantasyland Station, and Main Street. Posted 15 for Barnstormer, which is more than I want to wait for Barnstormer, but I think that extra 10 minutes is time that I will save walking back here later, so worth doing. I'd love to do a debrief on Barnstormer. Usually I'm on this much later in the day though. I like how things are going right now. I'm feeling like I'm having a good day and like not overexerting with the walking. The train, I think, is leaving right now, which I really wanted to make it on this train, so that's no fun. But I saw that it came in 15 minutes, so that's not too bad. We're now gonna cross the park. We haven't completely finished Fantasyland, but we've honestly finished all the difficult ones in Fantasyland, so we can circle back. My Tron Light Cycle Run Lightning Lane is in like the mid-afternoon. I think I am gonna go ahead and take care of the Walt Disney World Railroad, so we don't have to worry about coming back into Storybook Circus at all.
Listen, mechanical marvels, Tomorrowland.
I love the train. That is a very short trip with it just going between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. I mean, I literally think it was like 4 minutes, if that. Although I'll take it because last time there was construction on the train tracks, it was Tron, and they fully closed the train for years. So now at least that's not the case. Instead, the train is just gonna have limited movement, probably for years, as Cars Land and Villains Land are constructed. But now we are going to cruise up Main Street and head into Adventureland for the first of a couple of lightning lanes we have in a row here. The first one we've got is Jungle Cruise, which was my tier 1 that we booked in advance. All right, just because we're gonna pass it, and it might means we don't have to walk this way later, we're gonna head up to Family Robinson Treehouse. This is a walkthrough attraction. It's gonna be posted 0, actually 0-minute wait most of the time. Because it is a walkthrough. Now, it might take up a little bit of time because it is a lot of stairs. We head into Jungle Cruise. Only a posted 25-minute wait right now, which is not bad at all. But we are going to skip that posted 25-minute wait. My current goal is to get through my lightning lanes over here prior to the 2 p.m. parade. So I do want to catch that parade. But it does appear that Tiana's Bayou Adventure has gone down again. So since Tiana's Bayou Adventure went down during our lightning lane window for it, which is right now, we did get an experience redemption. Now this is a lightning lane that works in select experiences, almost everything except for just a handful. I am still going to use this on Tiana's Bayou Adventure because that's one that I don't want to have to get another lightning lane for. But if we wanted to switch it up and use it on something else, we absolutely could. We've also scanned in a Jungle Cruise, so I now have 2 lightning lane slots that I can fill. I'm gonna see what I want to do there.
My name is Skipper Matt. That's first name Skipper, last name Matt. I'll be your tour guide, snake charmer, piranha wrangler, lion tamer, alligator rustler. If you don't laugh at my jokes, your swimming instructor. I guess we gotta create the inspiration on our own. Everybody say ooh. Everybody say ah. That's inspiration if I've ever heard it.
All right, heading on to Pirates now. 1:10. After Pirates, it might be time to grab ourselves a bite to eat and get in position for the parade. Now, Disney Festival of Fantasy does step off in Frontierland, which means right at 2, you'll see it in Frontierland, and it will move all the way down to Main Street over the course of the next about 30 minutes. I like to watch this parade because it's a little easier to find a spot to watch it in Frontierland, and it means we get to watch it right at 2. It goes past us, and then while a bunch of people are still watching the parade, we are free to go and ride things. We've got posted 25-minute wait here at Pirates that we will be skipping with the lightning lane. 8 minutes in the lightning lane for Pirates. We've got about 30 minutes of the parade, so that's going to be our cue for restroom, food gathering, parade spot grabbing. Okay, I grabbed a seat in the patio of Pecos Bill, so I literally just have to walk right onto the patio and I'll be on the parade route. I got my green chili beef rice bowl, got some hot sauce, have a quick meal. Pretty good. Fuel up and then see a parade and keep kicking. a great view of the parade from Frontierland. Got to see the whole thing, and it's only 2:06. Parade actually stepped off at 1:55, I will note. A little bit of rain in the area, but I'm gonna head on Magic Carpets with Aladdin. It's supposed to 15-minute wait, but the line is literally empty because of the parade. All right, check-in time. I did hop into Enchanted Tiki Room, so we are gonna be able to finish Adventureland here, which is great. All right, Adventureland all done. For now, I think we're going to kick off our Tomorrowland section of the day with our Tron Lightcycle Run Lightning Lane. I'm excited to ride Tron today because it does have an overlay right now, the Tron Ares overlay for the new movie. So it's got 9 Inch Nails music and red lights.
Welcome to the grid. Proceed to gates.
All right, Tron Lightcycle Run Ares version done. It was cool. It had like a little story, and we got to be the bad guy kind of, which was cool. Yeah, I like the overlay a lot. I did go ahead and snag a lightning lane for Space Mountain, which is right next to us, so we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna knock out the rest of Tomorrowland and just call it done. The only problem child we really have in Tomorrowland is Astro Orbiter. That is our final Dumbo style pick you up, take you around ride, but it's on top of a building. You have to take an elevator to get up there. Very low capacity. It's been sitting around 25 minutes today, which is not the worst. So we'll just stomach it when it's time. Lightning lane for Space Mountain. I'm gonna skip a 15-minute wait for us right now, not too bad. All right, I made it to the front. There's no filming on Space Mountain, so I'll see you after. All right. Ooh, Space Mountain, done. Waited about, I don't know, like 8 minutes, 6 minutes? 6 minutes in the lightning lane, which is not bad at all. I definitely think that the posted wait was a little under too. It's a long line. It was probably closer to 25, would be my guess. I'm just gonna look at what Astro Orbiter is saying. Saying posted 15. I think that's probably worth doing. We're gonna look at it with our eyes because that one tends to be a touch inaccurate. Yeah, it doesn't look too shabby. I think we'll go ahead and do it. This is a scary ride if you're scared of heights. You also tilt. I'm not even scared of heights, and the tilting doesn't get me, but there's a part at the end, which will happen momentarily, where as you're coming down, it feels like you get really fast as you sort of like all the rockets line up, like, and the forces kind of push you to the outside of your rocket. That part I find scary. This is the part.
The Orbiter is now beginning its descent. Please remain seated until your rocket ship stops. Then follow the arrows to the flight.
It's like a mini
Welcome back,
mission
pilots.
space. Ow. Ooh, we hit it at a good time. Look at that. Line's about twice as long. That's nice to see. People mover. Yeah, I was about to say it's a little backed up, but who am I kidding? It's really not. Love that show. There's changes coming to it. They're adding a Walt animatronic to the show. I imagine we're gonna see some scene changes to give enough time to the Walt scene. I don't know, we'll see. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the changes coming to Magic Kingdom, honestly. More the little ones than the big ones. Like, I'm excited for some plus-ups on Buzz Lightyear. I'm excited for some updates on the Carousel of Progress. Perhaps the biggest thing I'm most excited about is they're painting the castle back to its original color scheme, which for me, I'm absolutely stoked about. The pink castle is cute, but I've never really been a fan. It just doesn't feel like Cinderella Castle to me. And they're painting it back to what I remember Cinderella Castle being from when I was a kid. And that is just so exciting to me. So I can't wait for that. Next up, we're gonna do Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Getting into the late afternoon now, it's about 4:50. So we got some time. I'm gonna grab a couple cups of water from lunching that and then go get our giggle on. I gotta say, I used to dread a Magic Kingdom ride challenge. There's so many rides. Having made many attempts and a successful attempt at riding every ride in Disney World in one day, riding everything in Magic Kingdom, it feels a lot more fun. And yes, I have done that for real. I've attempted like 4 times, and on my most recent attempt, I finally rode every single ride in Disney World in just one day. It was brutal. And it took a lot of expertise and a lot of help, but if you want to see that happen, it's on the channel now.
When you say 3-headed human.
I mean 3-headed human. They have 3 heads.
Right.
They have a teeny tiny baby head too.
Oh. Well, let's see if we can wake the baby and make their life a living heck.
That show is a delight every time. It is different every time because it is live monster performers. They do interact with the audience. Could be you, could be your kid. Very fun stuff. Only one more attraction in Tomorrowland with Tomorrowland Speedway. We're gonna see if I should grab a lightning lane for this. I haven't really been using my lightning lanes. They've just been sitting kind of vacant at this point because strategy has been so solid that we haven't really needed them. But what that means is I've been able to hold on to them. And it means that we do need them, which is great. Definitely some scary clouds, but People Mover's still running. I do still have Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tiana's Bayou Adventure tonight. Oh, it is actively raining. And both of those are riskier ones because they do go down in the case of weather. I usually like to ride them early for that reason, particularly in the wet season. It always makes me a little nervous to see storm clouds like this. Doesn't look like there's a wait even before the lightning lane scan. There's not for Tomorrowland Speedway, so we're not going to worry about booking one. The other spot we're headed to is Mad Tea Party, just right there. That's going to be our next stop after Tomorrowland Speedway. So, no lightning, but the rain's here. It's pouring, and I'm on Tomorrowland Speedway. Well, at least it won't be a problem if I get wet on Tiana's, because I'm already soaked. Did I bring rain gear? No. Did I know it was gonna rain? Yes. Well, I'll tell you, no one's in line for that anymore. And the whole ride was basically cleared. I got out, they had me get out of my car like on the track still. I would have filmed, but I was worried about my camera. And of course it's clearing up now. It's just like regular rain now. So it was like just for Tomorrowland Speedway, pouring down rain. I am headed to Mad Tea Party, which is covered. And maybe the spinning will dry me off a bit. Doubt it. I have to do Mickey's PhilharMagic and Hall of Presidents still, and I'm gonna be freezing, insanely cold. So I'm not exactly pumped about that prospect, because that was my plan right after Mad Tea, was Carousel and then those two. All right, that's fine. Does it look like I'm getting any drier? I can spin faster, I guess. I'm gonna be so cold. I thought about It's Country Bears too. I'm doing 3 shows after this. It's gonna be so cold. Carousel. Carousel better drive me off. And like, yes, it is still raining. I have to walk back in the rain again. Okay, headed to the carousel. I do think the rain might have just ended. We've got blue sky moving in from the back of the park, which I think means we're in the clear. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train 4, we do have a Lightning Lane single pass. It is just for later tonight. It's for around 7:10, so that might be our last true ride before we go get in position for the parade and fireworks, which would be perfect. Do I look any drier? Probably not. All right, time to get chilly. The first of our little shows section of the day is going to be Mickey's PhilharMagic. This is a 3D show that I love, typically to do during the hottest part of the day because it's got really good air conditioning. It's going to be a bit brutal, I think, in my current state. I wish maybe the rain would have held off till this point because it could have all happened while I was in here, which would have been really neat. But no dice for me. Still, a nice way to get a little bit of rest for your feet. Oh my gosh, it's cold. A little rest for your brain if you've been working the strategy for your family all day. Your kids, I think, will love this show. It's got fun 3D effects. I certainly love it. And it's posted 15, but that just means until the next show. which hopefully our timing is good, and that's soon. Only a 10-minute show, so even if our time isn't great, we're still gonna hit the next one. Good news, I was not nearly as cold as I expected to be in there. Will I be colder in Hall of Presidents? Maybe. I'm drying a bit. My pants are still soaked. There is a little American history sort of presentation, little movie, and then the curtain raises to show all those animatronics. There's so many, coming up on 50. It's a lot of animatronics. Then you get to see a little speech from George Washington and the current sitting president. So this attraction does get updated every single time a new president is elected. It closes for a couple of months as they bring in the new animatronic, but it is really stinking cool. We've cleared Tomorrowland, we've cleared Adventureland. This is our last thing in Liberty Square. Fantasyland will be our last thing to clear, even though it was where we started. Oh, this AC is crisper, I can already feel it. So we just have this here, and then Frontierland we haven't done anything in, but it's only Country Bears and Tiana's, and that's next. Even if you don't have time to see the whole show, because it is a bit of a time suck, with waiting for the show, you could be in here 30 to 40 minutes. If you don't have time for that, still step in and take a glance at some of the exhibits in here. Martin Van Buren Memorial Brooch for his wife, and Thomas Jefferson's pocket watch. That's crazy. Benjamin Harrison's razor. George Washington's shoe buckles. There you go. Circa 1797, right next to Barack Obama's basketball. Super cool.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War.
Conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Oh, it's pouring again. Okay, I'm making a slight adjustment to my plan. I don't like that it's pouring. Only took me 2 minutes, and now it's a very light drizzle. Beautiful, like, sunset vibes happening right now. One thing about Florida, incredible sunsets. I come from a state with incredible sunsets. I come from North Carolina. Florida's are better. The sunsets here are so beautiful. Another cool thing about Lightning Lane Single Pass is that you actually get to pick the time. Unlike Lightning Lane Multipass, with Multipass you're just picking the next available. But with Single Pass, you get to pick whatever time you want that is available. A lot of people go for nighttime with Tron. It's a great way to confirm you'll be riding Tron after dark, get the cool lights. That makes Tron a little easier to get during the day, but very hard to get in the evening. It's still kind of raining, which is weird because we're not even really under a cloud. I mean, like, we're under the corner of a cloud. I don't know, man. Florida rain is really something else. We have 5 minutes so we can skin in, so I'm gonna find some cover to stand under, and then we're gonna ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. All right. We're gonna be kind of close on hitting this parade, I think, so. Time to kick it in the high gear here. Skipping a 45 plus minute wait. Looks a touch longer than 45 in my opinion. A little sunset Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I am not going to complain about that. I gotta say, a lot of mine train attractions. That's just like a big one, you know? And there's 2 in this park alone. We are making our way to Country Bear Musical Jamboree to be able to like be directly facing the parade route. That also will make it easier for me to head towards Main Street to get my fireworks spot after Disney Starlight is over. Also, it did rain enough for me to be considered wet again. If you're keeping track of my dampness, I'm damp again. My pants never really dried. Definitely, I think, going to go with Tiana's first because I just think that the likelihood of me getting stranded in a spot that doesn't have a good parade view and makes it difficult for us to maneuver after is much more likely from Tiana's than it is Country Bears. Well, Tiana's is dry, which could cause a problem. I guess I haven't looked if it's up in a good minute. No, it says 65-minute wait. I guess they might just not have the waterfall on the hill. Yeah, the water's still going down in the river. I'm not seeing or hearing any logs. I'm seeing some empty logs. Maybe it just reopened, but that wouldn't make sense for a 65-minute wait. I don't know. We're gonna go see if we can scan in. Hard to say. It's giving me a posted 65 in the app, so either It has just gone down, or it is just now coming back up. Now it says temporarily closed. Okay, so maybe we are doing Country Bear Jamboree first. Another thing to keep in mind, although we haven't had to worry about it today, is some attractions do close a little early. Like Hall of Presidents closes at 9 despite the park closing at 10. We already talked about Main Street Vehicles earlier, so just keep an eye if you have a must-do. Double check its hours to make sure you're not going to miss it. 8 minutes till the next show.
Y'all swing by and see me sometime.
I would, but I'm scared of heights. And I'm scared of swings.
All right, Tiana's is down, so it may be a post-parade activity, which will make things a little dicey when it comes to catching the fireworks. Unless I go and watch the parade further up the parade route. Starts in 15 minutes. Go get a spot on Main Street. A lot of walking, but gives us a better chance of getting Tiana's done prior to the fireworks opens after the parade. But even if we can't get on it, I think it answers the question that yes, you can do everything in Magic Kingdom in one day right now. The catch is sometimes weather and ride breakdowns are going to get in the way of any perfect plan. And that's okay. You just got to be ready to roll with the punches. I want to get as early as we can on Main Street because we'll have to do a hard cut to be able to beat the parade, to be able to cross it. In Frontierland, we're going to have to move pretty quick, and I think probably book it through Adventureland because otherwise the parade will block us off from Tiana's anyway and cause the problem with getting to fireworks. But we're going to go see what we can find down at the top of Main Street. Magic Kingdom and the parades and the fireworks all in one day. Can it be done? The answer is yes. Hiccups can always happen, but the time is there if you have good strategy. Hopefully this video was helpful for your Magic Kingdom trips. Let me know any questions you have in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. If you're still here, please like this video and drop this secret code in the comments so I know you made it all the way. Plus, don't forget to subscribe. We have a goal of reaching 500,000 subscribers, and we are in the home stretch. Plus, we have lots of fun content all week, tips, videos, games, and more from Disney World and beyond. Why? Because we're serious about fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.